What's up, guys? In today's video, I go over the Dybbuk Boost Overdrive pedal by MWK Audio Designs, which is Sammy Dewey's signature pedal from Goatwhore. Stay tuned. What is up, you guys? It's your boy Luis Torres, and for months I have been waiting for this pedal to come out, and lucky enough, this is actually number one. Aside from the pedals that Sammy has gotten, this is number one. So, funny enough, I ended up reaching out to Sammy, and he's like, hey, listen, pick up this pedal, you're going to absolutely love it. And it was a pedal that he had been using for years. So suddenly I realized, just, browsing online, that Sammy was actually going to have his signature pedal made by Michael Klein from MWK Audio Design. So the original didn't have the center knob, and it kind of was like an integrated preamp pedal, but Sammy wanted more. You can't just have your favorite pedal and say, I want it to be exactly like that. You have to throw your flavor in, and I feel like that's exactly what Sammy did with this pedal. So aside from the level, gain, low, and high on this pedal, there's actually a usurp knob in the center, which means to take by force. And that's literally what it does. So when you dial in this center knob, it literally goes from thickening the tone to just having a sharp, articulate, just attack that is absolutely incredible. And keep in mind that whenever I get a new pedal, especially if it's an overdrive boost variant, I'll always run it through my Mesa rectifier, whether it's my dual or my triple. I love my triple just because there's a little more, there's just a little more that you can play around with the triple, because it's 150 watts. So your peak is a lot higher, so you can play with everything under that 150 watts. So I ran it out of my triple rectifier, and it sounded amazing. And to me, if any pedal can make my rectifier sound great, and you guys that have Mesa rectifiers know it's a great amp, but it's muddy as heck. But once you use a pedal with that and it makes it sound crisp, that to me is everything. And this pedal completely hit it out of the ballpark with my rectifier. So just to kind of add to it, I then went ahead and tried it with my Randall Diablo RD100. Just because lots of guys have that Randall head, and it's kind of in the ballpark of the rectifier where it's kind of muddy. There's definitely a lot of low end. And if you can drive it with something like this and it sounds great, to me, again, same thing with the Mesa rectifier, it is absolutely incredible. So to add to those two amps, I then ran it out of my PV5150, and after that, out of my PV6505 Plus. Mainly because of the fact that everyone these days has either a PV5150, or they have a 5152, or any variant like that, like the 6505, or the 6505 Plus. So I kind of feel, without you guys having to spend $3,000 on a KSR, I feel like these are kind of amps that everyone, for the most part, can buy. A lot of people have it, whether it's a PV, Randall, or Mesa. I feel like those are kind of amps that a lot of guys have or will eventually get, or at the very least have used them and understand the little nuances that those amps have. So I'm going to be running this guy out of my Mesa triple rectifier and using my, I'm going to use two ESPs. One is my ESP M2 Custom 1991 model that has a Seymour Duncan Nazgul, just because I want to go ahead and have a guitar with a passive, with a passive pickup. Then I'm going to be using my 2002 ESP Kirk Hammett KH2, which actually has EMGs, which are boosted with that new battery 24 volt mod, if you will. So let's have a listen so you guys can have an idea of what this thing sounds like. What's up, guys? So here I am. I'm using my 1991 ESP M2 Custom neck through body with a Seymour Duncan Nazgul in the bridge. I kind of feel like a lot of people have that pickup or have used it. So it's kind of one of those middle of the road pickups that at the very least you'll have an idea of what it'll sound like. So I'm going to be using my Mesa rectifier by itself. Then I'm actually going to activate the pedal. And for the most part, everything is at noon, with the exception of the gain, which is at 0, and then the usurp knob, which is in the center. That's what I'm actually going to be turning from 0, so let's call that 8 o'clock. I'll turn it up to 9 o'clock, then noon, 3 o'clock, and max. And one thing that you're going to hear is how articulate it gets when you actually start turning it more towards the 3 and the 5 o'clock, so clockwise. And when you have it off, so dialed all the way to the left, counterclockwise, which is going to be about 8 o'clock, it actually acts just like just a normal preamp pedal, overdrive, boost. You know, at that point, for me, what makes this pedal is that center knob, the usurp. And I feel like that's kind of the edge that it has over all these other overdrive boost variants that are out there. And it is literally what Michael and Sammy were able to put together, and it's what separates. And listen, I have tons of overdrive pedals, tons, and trust me, I feel like, you know, I'm no expert, right? I'm not some professional, just some guy in his basement with a bunch of amps. But I've used a bunch of different overdrive pedals, and, you know, I kind of find like a lot of them are in the same ballpark, with the exception of the handful that, you know, do something so different that they are separated from the pack. And this pedal, without question, is one of those pedals, and it's leading the entire pack that's gone way ahead of everyone. So let's go ahead and have a listen. I'm going to switch mics over, and I'm using my Mesa rectifier 412 cabinet that's loaded with V30s, using an Audio-Technica AT2020 microphone to capture it. So let's have a listen. Again, Mesa first, then I'm going to turn it on and then dial in the usurp knob in the center. So again, with this pedal, everything is at noon, gain is at 0, and the usurp, I'm basically starting at 0 and then dialing it into 9 o'clock first, noon second, 3 o'clock third, and then max. So you guys can hear the difference, and I'm basically just going to play the same riff. I'll figure it out as I'm playing it. Okay, so I went ahead and went from off to 9 o'clock, noon, 3 o'clock, then max. Then I started dialing it back to 3 o'clock, noon, 9 o'clock, and that's where I just left off. So I'm going to go ahead and switch guitars, and it actually does have a strap attached already. Okay, so this is my 2002 ESP KH2, which is the Kirk Hammett model. This has EMGs, and it has the new mod that I put in there. So instead of using 9 volts, it's actually pumped up to 24 volts. So you guys can get to have an idea of what that sounds like using active pickups. So again, I'm going to start off with just the Mesa rectifier, and then switching over to the pedal. So now I'm at 9 o'clock. For me, I kind of like it at noon. Once you start getting to the max, you almost start to lose, and that's just me, use the way I have the rectifier set. I start to lose what I'm playing just because it's trying to almost be too articulate with the note, and if I'm playing a power chord, then I'm just from what I hear, I'm kind of like losing it. So at 3 o'clock, it's perfect. At noon is where I kind of like it, and that's where I have it set right now. So in this last take, I wanted to yank out my 1987 ESP M1 Custom neck through body, and this one has the Voodoo custom pickup, Hellraiser A8, and of course, gotta represent Voodoo custom pickups. What's up, Rich? What's up, Danielle? So I wanted to use this guitar just because it has an Alnico 8 in it, so it's a super hot pickup, and it's passive, but the thing is just a scorcher of a pickup, where if you haven't tried any of the Voodoo custom pickups, there is something completely wrong with you, because all of Rich's line of pickups are absolutely incredible. So this is what it sounds like using the Sammy Dewey signature pedal, and this has the Usurp set to noon, which is my favorite setting, and you guys can have a listen. So guys, if you're thinking about getting a new overdrive, and Lord only knows we all have overdrives, this one is completely unique, and it's definitely, without question, a pedal that instantly, when I used it with my triple rectifier, was floored. And then, of course, when I ran it across the other ones, I was like, this is different. Different and more options. And to me, I feel like if you have an overdrive pedal, dude, all overdrives are like all the other overdrives. And then there are some that stick out, like I mentioned, and this one is just sick. And you'll see that, you know, again, it has the volume, gain, low, high, and then what really is the key with this pedal is the Usurp knob right in the center. And that is what thickens the tone. I feel like that's the variant that separates this pedal from others. So I'm going to put a link to the description below. You know, this pedal, you know, some guys will go ahead and say, bro, I know you got that pedal for free. Yo, I wish. All these pedals I pay full price for. This one was no exception. This is literally my personal pedal. This is something I'm going to be using. It's something that I've been waiting for God knows how long. And now that I have it, you're going to see me using this much more often. And to me, that's kind of everything. So guys, again, check out the description below. I'll put a link on there. Michael, you are the man. Sammy Dewey, same thing with you guys. The two of you just make a great team. This pedal is just incredible. And it's exactly what, you know, some guys say, you know, all overdrive pedals are almost exactly the same. They're not all the same. And it's, you know, it almost takes for someone to use 30 different overdrive pedals to see, you know, to realize that there's actually some that are completely different than others. And this is without question one of them, and one of the overdrive boost pedals that are at the top of that list. So guys, again, click on the description below, click on the link. Michael is absolutely amazing. These pedals made in the USA, which is awesome. And hopefully we'll have a new president sooner than later. And it is what it is. Guys, thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. Have a great weekend. And as usual, I'll talk to you soon.